Mr. Speaker, I turn now to a matter of the greatest sensitivity, the case of Lucy Letby, members of whose family are my constituents. It is essential to respect the independence of the judiciary in this matter. Nor, crucially, must we ever lose sight of the suffering of the families whose babies died or were gravely injured. But I believe there is also a proper public concern here as to the security of the verdict. Since the convictions, a number of serious and reputable people have raised concerns about the expert scientific and statistical evidence in this case, both the evidence presented to the jury and the evidence that the jury never saw. Those concerns come from neonatologists, pathologists, statisticians, and most recently from Dame Sue Black, one of the country's most distinguished forensic scientists. Like me, Dame Sue makes no claim as to whether Lucy Letby is innocent or guilty, but she has said in measured terms that she is troubled by the conviction and by the apparent lack of forensic evidence. When someone of her public scientific standing speaks in these terms, I do not think the issue she raises can be properly avoided. Her and other expert concerns raise profound questions as to the fairness of the trial and indeed about the status of the evidential test used by the CCRC in considering whether to reopen it. I remind the House that there were no witnesses, no CCTV footage, no forensic evidence, and no confession in this case. Everything, therefore, depended on the testimony of experts. But when it came to the defence, in the words of Dame Sue Black, there were no medical or statistical experts put forward at all. I'd also highlight that Lucy Letby had had a prior complaint against the consultants in the hospital. This was upheld after a detailed investigation and report which found there was absolutely nothing to prevent her returning to work and that doctors had bullied and harassed her. This evidence, too, was never heard by the jury. The Thirlwall Inquiry into the Countess of Chester Hospital has yet to publish its final report, despite many delays. But yesterday's Nottingham University Hospital's report is a powerful reminder that in neonatal and maternity settings, grave harm can arise not only from individual malfeasance, but also from systematic clinical failure. If I may conclude, the Criminal Cases Review Commission is now considering the Letby case. May I ask
Please. I have a load of time. It is a minute over. All I would say is, please, can you conclude now?
I think it's unfortunate that I was not allowed to conclude in the terms that I did.
We will leave it at that. Can I, Leader of the House? I'm not going to be challenged. I am not going to be challenged like that. I think that's totally unfair. I gave a full minute. I allowed you to continue. I was going to allow you to come back. I would have expected better from the Shadow Leader of the House to challenge the Chair in that way. I've never had that before. Leader of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And can I welcome the honourable gentleman back to his place, and may I also wish him a happy birthday for earlier this week. I join with him in sending our condolences to the people of Venezuela for those caught in the earthquake. Our thoughts are with the victims and their families. And as the Prime Minister said yesterday, Mr. Speaker, our thoughts are also with those injured in the rail collision last Friday and the friends and family of the driver who lost his life. I send my deepest sympathies at this dreadful time. Our thoughts are also with those injured, as the Shadow Leader said, in the horrific anti-Muslim attack in Edinburgh. We send our thanks and appreciation to all the emergency services who responded to both incidents with bravery and professionalism in very difficult circumstances. I also echo his words about the importance of Armed Forces Week. This week is Armed Forces Week, and we will mark Armed Forces Day this weekend. Events are taking place across the country to celebrate the work of our armed forces and show our support for the men and women who make up the armed forces community. And I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the events that you put on in Parliament this week. Members across the House will also be pleased to know that the Great British Summer of Saving has started. Families across the UK can take advantage of lower prices on children's days out, meals and travel. And we're cutting VAT to reduce the cost of children's restaurant meals, children's tickets for theatres and cinema, and all tickets for attractions like soft play, amusement parks and museums. And in August, children aged between 5 and 15 will also be able to travel on local bus services in England for free, keeping the cost down further. Before I turn to the specific remarks of the Right Honourable Gentleman, Let me also say, Mr Speaker, that I very much welcome the 3 new members to the House this week, and I wish them all well, irrespective of whichever party they serve. It has, Mr Speaker, in many ways been a momentous week following the Prime Minister's announcement on Monday. He will leave office with a record of stabilising the economy, driving down waiting lists in the NHS, lifting 500,000 children out of poverty, as well as a proud record on the international stage and defending our national interest. Mr Speaker, standing for election and representing your community and your country is the essence of politics, and we would do well to remember that regardless of party affiliation, at the heart of this are human beings for whom toxic political discourse only makes their job harder, and it can take a toll on them and their families. And I hope that we all bear that in mind, Mr Speaker, and recognise that the onus is on all of us to moderate political discourse and ensure that it does not cross the line into abuse or intimidation. And reflecting on that, Mr Speaker, reflecting on Prime Minister's questions yesterday, made me even more grateful for the tone of the Shadow Leader of the House, who during these sessions, despite our party political differences, we share good-natured exchanges, for which I thank him. It's an old habit of it's a habit of an old chief whip, or an old habit of a chief whip, that while exchanges are taking place in Prime Minister's questions, I do tend to watch the faces of the party opposite, and including the right honourable gentleman. And I think I'm safe in saying that staring at the ground or looking at your phone is one way of demonstrating that you're not very happy with the tone which has been set by the leader of their party. On the remarks that he made, in particular of Peter Murray, as the Prime Minister made clear, that the SNP should step up, Mr Speaker, to the mark and address this matter, but so should the necessary appropriate authorities where that work needs to be done. And similarly, with regard to the leader of reform, I expect that he will be held to account, and his account of what the £5 million was all about will be tested, because I suspect it doesn't really hold water. In terms of the Defence Investment Plan, it will be published, as the Prime Minister has said, before the NATO summit, and I would expect that a statement will be made to the House once it is published. But let me reassure the House, Mr Speaker, that this Prime Minister and any future Labour Prime Minister will be absolutely committed to the defence of our country and finding the money to pay for it. In terms of Lucy Letby, the Right Honourable Gentleman does raise a serious matter, and I know it is of concern, not just on his side of the House, but on our side of the House too. And it is important that that decision was sound and safe, and therefore I will raise it with ministerial colleagues, and should he wish to express his concern directly to ministerial colleagues, I'll arrange that for him too.